Notwithstanding persistent reservations in some quarters about its legitimacy and efficiency, Nigeria has at various points in its history constitutions which provided the framework of its claim to being a sovereign state, just like any other country in the world. It is from the present we are able to learn from what went right or wrong in the early parts of any nation's journey, and therefore Nigeria should be able to chart the way for a better future based on lessons of the past and present. Welcome to 30 Minutes on NTA News 24. Our focus is on Nigeria at 61. I'm Lydia Sampson. Now, since Nigeria became an independent nation, leadership has continued to play critical roles in the country's history, journey to economic stability, and peaceful transition. Let's take a look at the historical leadership perspective of Nigeria from 1960 to date. Knowing it cannot be captured in 30 minutes program, here is a summary. In 1960, Nigeria gained her independence from colonial rule. Its new constitution established a federal system with Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa as the Prime Minister and Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe as the President. Shortly after, Nigeria became a republic in 1963.
Independence means freedom. So we are free from the shackles of our colonial masters. We are free from colonization. We are free from what we can say slavery. So independent is self-rule. So we started ruling ourselves from 1963 when we had the first election. And since then we have been having leadership crisis. And that has been the bane of the problem of Nigeria, leadership. We cannot say the leadership has not tried. We have tried, but we need more.
Not long after our independence, ethnic rivalry began to rear its head in the country's politics. What followed was a series of political crises, starting with the controversial census of 1962 to 1963, boycott of the federal election in the Western region in 1964, and the allegedly controversial election of 1965. Political instability in the country gave rise to the first Nigerian coup d'etat on the 15th January 1966, which saw the emergence of Major General Johnson Aguiyi-Ironsi as Nigeria's first military head of state. This signaled a series of military incursions into Nigeria's politics.
The normal function of government in each region will be carried on by the permanent secretaries in the region, and they will be directly responsible to the military government there. The regional military governments are directly responsible to the head of the federal military government and the supreme commander of the armed forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Public corporations and other statutory bodies, such as local governments, will continue to function under the appropriate ministries.
Just 6 months after the first coup, a counter coup was staged. Aguiyi-Ironsi was assassinated and Yakubu Gowon came to power. Ethnic conflict between the northern region and the eastern region soon aggravated, leading to the Nigerian Civil War, spanning the period of 1967 to 1970. The war ended in 1970 with the federal government's famous declaration of no victor, no vanquished.
I'm satisfied that all other Nigerians have learned the lesson of history and the Civil War, and I pray to God that there will never be a repetition.
In July 1965, Yakubu Gowon was overthrown with Brigadier General Murtala Mohammed assuming office as the new head of state. Barely 1 year after, in February 1976, he was assassinated in an unsuccessful coup attempt, and his top aide, Lieutenant General Olusegun Obasanjo, became head of government. Olusegun Obasanjo pursued his predecessor's desire to return the country to civilian rule. As a first step, a new constitution was promulgated that replaced the British-style parliamentary system with a presidential one. With increasing political crisis and continuous economic decline, the military once again seized power in December 1983 with Major General Muhammadu Buhari as the new head of state. Soon after, General Ibrahim Babangida assumed power following a bloodless coup in August 1985. An interim national government led by Chief Ernest Shonekan was formed in August 1993 following the annulment of the June 12, 1993 election, which was won by Chief MKO Abiola. In November same year, General Sani Abacha overthrew Shonekan, reinstating military rule in the country. The decisive turning point in military disengagement came with Abacha's sudden death in June 1998, and he was replaced with General Abdulsalam Abubakar, who promised to transfer power to civilians. The Fourth Republic began in 1999 with the election of Olusegun Obasanjo as a democratically elected president. Since then, Nigeria has had 22 years of unbroken democracy with the following presidents: Olusegun Obasanjo, 1999 to 2007, with 2 terms in office; Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, 2007 to 2010; Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, 2011 to 2015; President Muhammadu Buhari, 2015 till date. President Buhari's emergence in 2015 is quite significant in the country's political calendar, as it marked the first time an incumbent president will be defeated in an election.
Time of reflection for all of us to understand that a 61-year-old man is a grandfather, and we should expect maturity by now. I expect that at this 61st anniversary, our nation should get better. I expect our economy to get better. I also want to believe that the people in the sphere of this country, the government, should sit down together to deliberate.
Our founding fathers, in fact, they are not self-centered, but in the recent time, we already have leadership that are self-centered, leadership that are leaning on one side, leaving the others. You know, like you said, Nnamdi Azikiwe and Tafawa Balewa, they carry everyone along. Even though, even at that time, there was a cries of marginalization. And that is what led us to what is happening to us today. Somebody will be in government and will still be crying of marginalization. And instead of crying and then complaining, sometimes we take into fighting, or we take into war, we take it into insult. It is good when you are marginalized, you complain, and then it will be addressed. But the moment when you are marginalized, you feel like going away, you feel like succeeding away, it's not the best thing. We have to be considerate. Our diversity is not supposed to separate us. Our diversity is supposed to bring us together. That is why we have the South and North at the point in time, and now we have 6 geopolitical zones. What we are going to do is to consider all the 6 zones as Nigeria. Let's carry ourselves along.
Nigeria's 61st independence anniversary is indeed a story of resilience and sacrifices, and the prayers on the lips of every well-meaning Nigerian is that of a peaceful and progressive nation. Moving on now, Thomas Egbetere in our next report is x-raying 6 years of the Buhari administration with special focus on infrastructure development. Over to you, Thomas.
Demand for infrastructure is growing across the world. This is mostly attributed to the population growth and the importance of infrastructural development to economic growth, employment creation, and poverty alleviation in any given country. Adequate infrastructure such as road and railway transport system, ports, power, airports also facilitate global integration. As Nigeria attains 61 years of independence, many Nigerians believe that the country has witnessed accelerated infrastructural development, especially in the last 6 years.
Look at the second Niger bridge. We have always heard it. It became a political issue that at every election there's a flag off, and after the flagging off, that's the end of the news. At every election there's another flag off, and after that, not until Buhari now came, that we're talking about completion date. Now by 2022, we'll have second Niger bridge standing. And if you go there, you see that when you talk about massive infrastructural development, you'll be able to see what you're talking about on ground. Look at Southeast in terms of roads, road infrastructure. For the past 16 years before Buhari came into office, no federal road received any attention, not one. I stand to be challenged. But as we speak today, work is ongoing between the Onitsha-Enugu Expressway, Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway. Work is ongoing. Aba, Calabar, through Ekotekwani, work is ongoing. Umahia, Aba, work is ongoing. So you find out that a lot of these projects are projects that ordinarily nobody thought about them. But now we're not talking about these projects, we're talking about completion date. So work is ongoing on these federal roads. And it's not only in the Southeast, you see a commitment. Look at our airports that were abandoned. A good number of them has been completed.
Some Nigerians applaud the Buhari administration in the area of road construction and what they described as the railway revolution across the nation.
Look at the rail line. That one is a revolution in terms of work that has been done. Is it in Abuja? Is it Ibadan, Lagos? Is it the one they are just starting, the Port Harcourt, Maiduguri? So you see that there's massive activities all over the country. But because of the level of decay before the coming of this administration, you still find that there's still quite a lot to be done. If previous administrations have done 50% of what this administration is doing in terms of infrastructural development, we'll not be where we are. But let's not talk about the past anymore. Let's be talking about today and the future. I said today, a lot of work is going on when it has to do with infrastructural development. Like I've made some examples in the Southeast. If you ask me to continue, if you come to the Southwest, you talk about Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, there's a lot of work going on there. Bridges, left, right, and center. A few days back, the bridge in Adamawa was being commissioned. I watched it on TV today, completed. And they're saying the Northeast Development Commission was now saying that 2 other ones will be commissioned in the nearest future. So there's activities going on in terms of infrastructural development. Is it power? Is it energy? So you see a lot is going on. How many people are engaged now? We're talking about Second Niger Bridge. Talk about those who are doing the actual work, the effect on their families, the expanded effect. For example, now looking at the maritime sector, because of that Second Niger Bridge that is ongoing, a lot of people are interested in the right of way, the newer right of way, down after Depe, down to Obaru. People are interested. We're receiving letters from left, right, and center, even on their server axis. So, and these are activities that will generate employment. Are you getting me? Those who are directly involved also in the projects themselves will generate employment. The communities through which these roads pass, activities, you see activities going on. So it's going to be very impactful in terms of affecting the economy of the local environment. A lot, because it's money you are spending. The people supplying laterite are the people from that community, people supplying chippings, people supplying cement and whatever, all from the community and the environment. So it's going to affect the economically speaking, it's going to impact positively on the environment and in the state.
The resolve of the Buhari administration to complete abandoned projects initiated by previous administrations while inaugurating fresh projects is seen as the magic words for Nigeria's infrastructural development.
We also remember that when the president came on board, he actually directed all his aides, the minister, that they should not start a new project, but what he's interested in is at completing a project that he met on ground. And some of these projects he completed, it's there for everybody to see. But some of the one he also started, we can be talking about the Second Niger Bridge, we can be talking about the Oweto Bridge, which links the Benue and the eastern part of the country. And we can also be talking about rehabilitations of road, the Kano, Zaria Express Road, and the federal roads, which have hitherto been very, very dilapidated, that are even costing our young people and Nigerians their life while traveling. So these are very few and among the roads, giant stride that our president has been able to made on infrastructure. And when we are talking about infrastructure, we cannot also limit it to roads alone. We can also talk about the rail transport. You can bear me witness that if you are in Lagos and you want to go to Ibadan, that will be spending about 7-8 hours within a 150-kilometer drive. Now you have a rail system that you can be comfortable in it, and you can even be rest assured that you have your safety where you are traveling. That project is 100% completed now, and I'm also aware, and I'm sure that there's also a rail project that is coming from the same Lagos that is going to the northern part of our country, which is Lagos to Kano Road. And there's also a rail project that the former government have been on for the past 20-something or more years. That's the one that links the Takpe axis, and Mr. President came on board and he was able to rejig that project, and it's about to be completed. So this government has actually done a lot when we talk about infrastructure, and it doesn't stop there. You see, recently, about a few months ago, they also launched what we call the Light Up Solar project in our dear country, whereby they are looking at lighting up about 5 million households to have a solar system, energy commission, rural electrification. They are working very massively to see that project come to reality. Our president are also giving a mandate that Nigerians should also pay for metering. When we talk about power, this is what I'm saying about power. They're also trying to do a mass meter project whereby you can just walk into the power provider's office and get a meter, and from there you subscribe. So these are things that make life very, very easy for a common Nigerian and investor, because you cannot come and invest in a country where there's no light. You cannot come and invest in a country where you cannot be guaranteed of accessible road. And when we talk about accessible road, we talk about security. Because if a road is very clear for you to drive about 1 or 120 kilometers per hour, then you will be free from dangers that could emanate from the bad roads that we have hitherto witnessed in our country. Before our president came on board, you can bear also witness that the Lokoja Abuja road is second to none, and now you can even close your eyes and drive on that road without itching. So these are very few among projects that Mr. President has been able to do in infrastructure.
40 to 30%. Now they have been completed. So these. We cannot initiate new roads because we have to maintain the existing roads, which they have been dilapidated, they are not accessible, and these roads have been now completed. So I believe when we commend the President Muhammad Buhari for having this focus that let us finish the existing project, and these existing projects are very vital because these existing projects, most of the projects, it has already touched all the economic sectors.
Nigeria has 108,000 kilometers of surface roads. Those categorized as federal roads make up 32,000 kilometers, or 18%. Key players advocate maintenance culture as well as legal policy framework for private sector participation in funding, management, and maintenance of federal highways as crucial.
When you look at this administration, it's only unfortunate that this administration don't do too much talking as to what has been done, which I think is not also very good. We should let the people know what is happening and where they're happening. All right? If you look at the mileage we have covered in the agricultural sector, before this administration, Nigeria was a net importer of food. But today, we're not talking about importing food again. In fact, we're getting to the point of export. There's massive impact on the agricultural sector. Diversifying the economy. Prior to this time, we were one product economy. And we don't have control over this product. So whatever happens in the international community, it reflects on our society. Whatever happens about oil, we pay the price here. If the price falls there, it reflects on our economy. If it rises there, it reflects on our economy. But now it is no more the same. There's massive diversification. There's massive investment in agriculture. As we speak today, there's also massive investment in the solid mineral sector. As we speak today, nobody's talking about again importing rice. We're only talking about improving on that sector, improving on it, because if we're getting to the point where there is a need for us to start exporting rice. Unlike before, don't forget in this country, we were massive importers of cement. Today, by virtue of the liberal policies and the active participation of the private sector, I'm not sure anybody is talking about importing cement now.
When we focus on agriculture, a lot of the achieve. We have Alcoboras program, we have these integrated farms, we have a lot of activities in farming through CBN and other sectors in the ministries. In terms of exports, a lot of achievement has been done. Look at it previously. Nowadays, Nigerian Export Promotion Council has given a grant of over 50 billion naira to exporters. This has enhanced the kind of a value change to the country, whereby it encourages exporters to export more of made in Nigerian goods. So this kind of achievement has been done. When you look at the infrastructure facilities, you look at the roads, you see they have opened a lot of roads. There are a lot of roads have been repaired. Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, space. When you look at the south, Enugu, and when you look at the airport, when you look at the major bridge, all this has been achieved. More especially on the term of what do you call it, in terms of train, which previously, I think 3 months ago, they have opened up a new Lagos-Ibadan train, which in fact is a well-commanding. All these infrastructures have been inherited from previous administration. They have not been able to complete it. But this federal administration of our humble president, Muhammadu Buhari, a lot have been achieved.
There is hope that the establishment of the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund as well as Infraco PLC, with combined debt and equity take-off capital of 15 trillion naira, will help to bridge infrastructural deficit in the country.
Experts say nations mostly evolve from the hard work, sacrifices, and resilience of their people. With the excellent achievements of Nigerians within the country and in other climes, the need for greater patriotism to support government efforts at all levels cannot be overemphasized. Happy Independence, Nigeria. Thanks for watching. I'm Lydia Samson.